What's up, traders? I hope you guys are ready. I want to look at the chat. I want to see it already booming. Today is a special live session where I'm going to go into depth, basically from everything that you need to know about trading, from analyzing the style that I go with, the style that many profitable traders go with, trader psychology, some insights, some advice. Today's going to be a great session. So if you showed up, you're doing yourself a major favor. And let me just check, make sure everyone's in. If you're not, I've sent links in through the Telegram. Make sure you're also on the portal. I'm logged into the chat. I want the chat to be booming. We want to build a community here, so we want you guys to be active. We want you guys to be asking questions. I want to get to know you guys personally, and let's build something special here. So I'm gonna check the chat, make sure people are getting on. Today's gonna be major key. A lot of people are in London, or in New Zealand, across the globe that can't make the morning sessions. So I did this for you guys. We're gonna go straight from the beginning. We're gonna talk about a few things about trading, how hard it is to even be a trader, and then we're gonna go into the majors. We're gonna cover Euro, Pound, USD, and Gold. We're gonna analyze them from the start. So everything you see on this chart, it's gonna be removed. I'm gonna right click and remove all drawing tools. I'm going to analyze it together step by step, and you guys can ask me to slow down, stop. This way you guys have all the key levels I do, and not only that, after this live is done, I will be posting all the chart work on Telegram, and that way you guys could also get it in case you did miss a thing or two. So without a further ado, I did want to get into some trader insight and how hard it is to be a trader. I'm on my 6th year now, and over the years I've met many people, and I've met many traders, and one thing that new traders fail to realize is you got to play the long game. Forex is not going to make you rich over the weekend, over a week. You can't turn $1,000 into 3,000 in a month. If you did that, there's two reasons. Either you found the swing trade of the year and you made some great pips, but the second more likely option is you used a lot size too big for your account. You got lucky that one time, but the next time that you do that same activity with the big lot sizes and you throw risk management out the window, you're gonna blow your account up. Trust me, I've done it. I have friends that have done it. We've grown since then. So if you have a $10,000 account, aim to grow 2 to 3%, upwards to 5% a month. Stop trying to flip accounts and realize that you're playing the long ball here. Once you grow that balance to something like 50K, you can actually start day trading and trade for balances and profits that could pay off your bills. So if you have a smaller account size, just focus on long-term growth. Okay, that 5% a month is probably the best thing to aim for. If you don't get it every month, don't kill yourself. But hopefully these live sessions help you. And just to give a little bit of background of what I do at Forex Lens, I do a lot of things, but these live sessions is one of the main things that I do. And I'm also a signal provider. So every morning at 9 o'clock, I go to dailyfx.com. It's a great resource website. It literally breaks down the fundamental news for all the Forex pairs, and it gives you real good insight. So I read that either in the morning, on my way to work, etc. When I get to work, I spend around 30 minutes on the charts before we go live to see what I'm going to talk about, what setups are there, and what's happening. And then I go live. And when I go live, I do the analysis live, all the signals live, and sometimes I even call it live. And most often than not, the price action happens during the London session when I'm asleep. So I give you guys the details, right? A lot of you guys are new, so I'm going to show you how it works around here. I'll give you details of what to look for entries. So I'll say, wait for price to break this level, retest rejection. If we get that, go ahead and enter short. This way you learn how to trade. And, in July, I think I hit around 1,600 pips. In August, we're up about 500, 600. I just feel like I've mastered the way of trading, and this is no special way. We're not here to sell you a 14-page ebook on the secret of trading. Many traders trade this way. It's a variation of price action. We keep the technicals very limited. We tend to read the candles, and we also incorporate fundamentals heavily. As you can see, my charts have no indicators because this is the honest truth. Indicators don't tell you anything that the chart hasn't told you already. And going back to being a signal provider, it's hard. Every now and then we might get comments on support or live chat saying so and so had a bad week. What are you guys gonna do about it? Just an FYI, to be a signal provider and a trader is hard, because when we send out a signal, we have to think 2-3 times before we send out that signal. I sometimes will analyze a chart like this, have a setup ready, and if I don't feel confident, I'll literally just right click, remove drawing tools, and analyze it again. If it says short, then I'll send it out. So if you guys think that we just randomly send out pump out signals, that's not the case. When we have a losing week, we feel just as bad as you guys do, because we want you guys to make profits, and we know that you guys are counting on us to deliver. And so it does wreak a lot of havoc on your mentality. When I have a great week and at a great couple of weeks, your ego is high, you're feeling confident. But when you're losing, it takes a toll on you mentally. And people that pay for signals don't understand that being a provider is hard. Forex Lens has been in business since 2015. It's 2019. We're about 6 months away from 2020. So that's almost 5 years of dedicated service. Many signal providers don't last a year or two, because they can't deliver results year after year. But Forex Lens has done that, and I'm so happy to be a part of the team. So, understand that when we have a losing week, we're trying, and we have a winning week, we are trying. The effort stays consistent, and we want you guys to be profitable. And these live sessions, I wish someone did this for me when I first started trading Forex, because honestly, I was just wasting money on signal after signal company, and not learning how to trade. So if I had the service of having someone come in every morning 11 a.m. breaking down trades live and telling me what to watch out for, that's a blessing. So enough boring crap. Excuse my French. This is Forex After Hours. Let's get into the actual learning and trading. So I'm just going to check the chat. Good, no comments. If there is any comments while I go on with this, you can let me know. You can ask me even personal questions if you want. I'm just trying to build a connection with traders, and that's the only way we're going to grow. At Forex Lens, we're taking a direction that most companies don't take. We're trying to be separated from all the fake Forex signal groups, and we're trying to build something legit. So, looking at Euro, we're going to look at Euro just right now as it is before we clear the table and start from the beginning. Euro, we are short and we are in some profit, as you can see from here. We have drawn this consolidation box from our earlier sessions last week, and the overall bias is short. Now let's analyze from the very beginning for the people that are new, that joined or are in the London session. I'm going to remove all this. What's up, No Limit Ty, US Oil? Alright, so Ty, I'm just going to analyze these majors real quick for everyone that has questions, and then we'll get into the recommendations. I'll analyze two of the majors, so people get an idea of how I trade, and then we can go to US Oil. But I believe US Oil is a short. I was actually going to call it. Anyways, removing all drawing tools. So this is how I analyze my pairs. I start on the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, I zoom out and I look for any supports and trend lines that I can draw. So first thing I notice is where price is. Price is somewhere in this area, right? We're right around 1.11 thousand. So I'm more concerned about areas close to 1.11 thousand. So a near-term support for Euro is right around here, right? This level could be one. So what I do is I get the rectangle tool and I draw this out. And when you get to the smaller time frames, you can make this neater. Well, this is a decent support zone for the Euro at 1.04 thousand. And then I also look for resistance levels in that area. So a resistance level would be right here, right around 1.15 thousand, right around here. A lot of wicks, a lot of rejection. I'm gonna draw our resistance. So we've covered a majority of the wicks, which is fine. And then I look for any trend lines that I can draw. I can draw one, but we aren't really close to it. But it does help with the overall vision and bias that we are in a downtrend. Euro on a monthly time frame has been making lower highs and lower lows, and so we are in a downtrend, which is great. Can I draw a channel or any patterns? Yeah, you can draw this channel if you really wanted to. So Euro, same thing. As I said, we're in a descending channel, and we're still in that channel. So from the monthly time frame, the Euro USD is bearish. Going to the weekly. Now in the weekly time frame, I start to plot my weekly levels. These are levels where you're going to watch out for entries and take profits. So our weekly levels are levels that were covered by these zones. Zooming in, we can see one key level right here, right around 1.1279. Right, we see a lot of wicks here. We see a lot of wicks here, a lot of wicks here. Definitely a lot of wicks here at that region. When I plot the horizontal line, you'll see why it's an important region. Like so, we can see it's been support many times in the past, dating back to 2015 when we came into this trading range. Right, support here, support here. We finally broke above it, and now we're retesting, and we might reject that support. So that's one support level. We can also do a secondary support level right around these wicks area right here. Right, so right around 1.08500, a nice psychological level. A lot of wicks in this area that was acting as support. So those are secondary levels right here. Our first primary resistance is the support, is resistance zone. We could plot, another secondary resistance right where these wicks came up to. In case price does reverse, this would be a take profit level, and this would be take profit level. So it's great. We can see the overall movement of euro is coming back into this trading range right here. And then we go to the daily. Going to the daily, we'll get more insight. So on the daily, we can see that, we zoom in, we had a head and shoulders pattern right here. Here's our head, here's our left shoulder, here's our right shoulder, here's our neckline. I'm going to plot that. Okay, so what price has done is, after it made this head and shoulders, we had a fallout, and usually when you have a head and shoulders, you have a retest. So you have a retest of the neckline, we have a push back up. This line right here, 1.11894, is our neckline. We are retesting it, and we might, if we do get a rejection off the neckline, we would have a great short opportunity to short Euro USD, which we're already in. So that's great. Our bias is standing put, and we can also, for additive influence, draw this trend line. A trend line is what connects two or more points. In a trend, it connects the higher highs and higher lows. So like this, we have a nice trend line that we are obeying, making our lower highs and lower lows. Perfect. And then going to the 4 hourly, we look for entries. On the 4 hourly, we can definitely see that we caught a nice entry after these touches on the trend line. And not only that, we had a consolidation box earlier in the week, last week, which we are starting to break outside of. So the bias is short. Now for take profit levels, all I do is look for key levels. So this is our first take profit level. Another take profit level would be placed down here. So this is what we'd plot. I'm speeding through this, but you should get the idea by now. So we enter short here, stops right outside this trend line that we're obeying, and take profit down here. A 2.59 risk to reward. Euro USD shorts. It was a short before, and it's a short now. I'm gonna analyze one more pair, and then we'll get into pair recommendations. So pound USD, again, similar thing. Analysis on point. 2 days ago, I did say pound USD was priming for shorts. Wait for the retest, the retrace to the 61.8 fib, which we did right here, and you can short. 60 pips easily made. Let's see if the analysis is the same when we remove all the drawing tools. Going back to the monthly, and once you do this, trading will become so much clearer. It doesn't get any simpler than this. The Euro Yen call I just called 2 hours ago, I analyzed off my phone. I think we're up about 15 pips. So same ordeal. Now the pound USD is a bit different, because if you look to the left, the pound has never been this low before, ever. We're actually going to make new historic lows. If we do clear this last bit of support, pound can go down to make new historic lows. So again, same principle. We're looking for support that's nearby, and obviously right here is where we're looking at. So we're going to draw a nice support region as such, which is fine. Any trend lines that we can draw, there is one that you can draw from the higher time frame, like this. So overall trend is down. It doesn't take an Einstein to realize that, but the trend line is a nice confluence. In case we do retrace up here, we know we should look for shorts around this area. Any other trend line from the bottom up? No, not really. Now we can move on to the smaller time frame on the weekly to see what else is happening with the pound. And the pound is absolutely on a bear run. I had a video back in June where I said the pound will not recover, and I was not lying when I said the pound will not recover. As you can look at price right now, price has squeezed a bit outside of our support region. So if we can, close outside the support region, guess what? There's no support left for the pound, and we could see some nice shorts and easy pips made. So on the weekly, we're gonna draw our weekly levels. Since there's no more supports to draw, we could draw our weekly resistance. This could be our stop loss for when we do enter short. So looking at the recent price, we could have, this right here as a nice weekly level, because it was support here, it was support here, and price when it came down here, it went out of its way to wick at this key level at 1.23730 or 1.23750. Okay, so moving to the daily, and I know you guys have pair, so if you have pair recommendations, send them in now while I finish up pound, and I'll get through your pairs. No limit ties, zero routine of pairs I check daily. Yes, so every day I check the majors: Euro, Pound, USD, Yen, Gold, sometimes USD, CAD, and any other pair recommendations that people ask. So for people in the chat, send in your pair recommendations right now. So while I finish up the pound analysis, I can go straight into them. What's up, Jared Walker? Jared, CAD Yen and CAD CHF. I can already tell you're looking at buys. Please let me know you're looking at buys, because I do think there's buys available for those two trades. If you're looking for buys, there might be for CAD Yen and CAD CHF. Okay, so without getting sidetracked, daily, we can see price action more clearly. So when we did make this aggressive bear push, I mean these this is like 4 days of price action, 1, 2, 3, 4 of just straight bears and no bullish candle in sight. We finally came down to our support region, which we consolidated in, and on the smaller time frame, we'll see this as a channel. So we consolidated on the smaller time frame until we did get a break, and we made an aggressive push out of the support region. And I'm gonna zoom in on this daily candle, and you guys will see just how much of a bearish confluence this candle is. This candle right here is as bearish as it almost gets. Ideally, you don't want to wick here, but if you look at the bottom of this candle, there is no wick, zero wick. You see a candle like this, it's a bearish hammer, pin bar, whatever you want to call it. It's not very bearish, but this candle is very bearish. If this top wick wasn't here, and it was just a red body bearish candle, that'd be the most bearish candle you can have. So this is a great sign. Right now, price, the next candle on the daily was an indecision candle right here, equal wick to the top and bottom, and another indecision candle. And now we're printing a doji or evening star, and we're just retesting this price zone, and we should see for the shorts going on to the 1 hourly, we can draw that consolidation channel we're talking about. So let me reset. So earlier last week, we spoke about pound USD just consolidating in the support region. More importantly, in an ascending channel. This was the channel we drew in our session, and we were just waiting for a break of the channel. And if you look closely at price, isn't this channel making higher highs, higher lows, and then when it did break, right, it broke this channel pretty aggressively. Price came up and retested. You see all these wicks to the upside, retesting this channel, and then we finally got bearish rejection. If you're looking for rejection, a fat bearish candle, and we had a nice slip, and the pound has never looked back since. This is one of my favorite patterns to trade. So if you are looking to trade patterns, this is called a bearish flag pattern. A bearish flag pattern is a pattern that is a bearish continuation pattern. So what that means is when you have a downtrend, a bear market like this one right here, you're going to have a period of consolidation, right, in a ascending channel. So this down move is our pull. This channel is our flag. You can kind of picture it out. If you want, I can actually draw this. So this down move is our flag pull. Okay. I'm gonna make the sticker so you guys can see. So this down move is our pull. This is our flag. Make flag is the ascending channel, and then when we get that break of that channel, we get a continuation move down. Zooming in on more recent price action, making higher highs and higher lows. So this was our lower high, actually lower high, lower low, lower high. We should be making another lower low. There is some hourly support here, so we may make another retest. But shorts is what my bias is for pound USD. And not only that, if you miss the entry here, right? Let's say you missed the entry of the channel. This is where Fibonacci comes in. Fibonacci retracements. So how you do Fibonacci retracements? Get the tool on TradingView. Just click this tab right here. Go to Fib retracement, and you go to the last swing high, which is this right here, and you go to the swing low, which is down here, and we can see price rejected at the 61.88 fib level, which is a key reversal area, either this or the 50 fib level right here. Both key reversal areas, and we saw pound USD come here, make our swing low, retrace perfectly to the 61.8 fib level, reject, and we had a nice 60 to 50 pip move that we caught. And now all we're waiting for is the pound CPI later today at 4:30 a.m. Well, actually, whoops, this is today. There you go. Pound CPI at 4:30 a.m. Eastern. So that's how I analyze pairs, and it's pretty simple. If you join the live sessions, over time you'll get better at it. But I will post these charts on TradingView and Telegram so you guys can get the key levels down. But now moving on to your pair requests. US oil, CAD yen, CAD CHF. There's a USD oil opportunity, yes, for short. Jared Rocker, looking at buys, yep. If you see them as buys, go for it. But last time I checked, they did look like buys. Do I trade on personal account? Yep, I use a 0.50 lots on my account. You got to use proper risk management. That is key. If you're not making profits with our signals, before you even complain to live chat, send in your trade logs to support@forexlens.com. I had a couple people do that, and the lack of risk management, the lack of taking profits, putting stop losses to entry, using one lot sizes on an account that's $3,000 in balance is just unacceptable. You're not gonna make money that way. You're gonna blow your account. So before you blame the trader, you got to take a hard look at your risk management. So going on to your pair request, U.S. oil, easy short is there, but I just wasn't sure if all the confirmation was there. Going to the 4 hourly. Actually, we'll go to the daily. It's more clear on the daily. Last time we looked at U.S. oil, we did print this descending trend line right here, right? This one right here. We had the 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. We did get the break, and we started to make another downtrend outside of this downtrend. If you look, zoom in, we broke. We started another downtrend, 1 touch, 2 touch, and we're having a 3rd touch. I just didn't really want to call shorts because of 2 things. If you look to the 4 hourly, we'll see that our next recent support is about 20 pips away, right? Right around 56.25 is our next key support. Actually, yeah, you can actually might be the chart I was looking at work, but on my personal chart here, yeah, we're actually the shorts are good to go. Whoever took it, good job. But yeah, the next take profit level where I see is 55.88. Great take profit level. Actually, if you want, you can squeeze it up a bit. All we're trying to do is have our take profits where there's a lot of volume, a lot of accumulation and support. So obviously we have a lot of wicks at this level here, a lot of wicks at this level here, consolidation and a rebounding. So if you're in US oil short, make sure your first take profit is 56.04. That's where I see we're going. Price action looks pretty nice. We had a rejection, an indecision candle, but it's looking like we're gonna go there. I wouldn't enter now just because if you do the risk to reward, I'm gonna remove this. I'd wait for some sort of retrace, in my honest opinion. The first take profit, obviously this is a bad risk to reward. Even if you go to the second level, it's only a 1-to-1 risk to reward. I'd wait for some retrace. Zooming out to make things a little clearer, we do have this ascending trend line from the monthly that we could have as a take profit level. I'll actually go on the monthly to show you guys that. So it could be actually a nice trade to enter. It's just we missed the ideal entry, or whoever caught it, you did get the ideal entry. So we have this monthly ascending trend line from this week, from our 2018 swing low, coming to here, and this is our next touch to it. So on the weekly, actually on the daily, the short swing opportunity does present itself to down here, to this touch, and that's a 2.0 risk to reward. So if you're actually big on trading commodities and oil, this is not a bad setup. This is actually not a bad setup. And we can see right where this trend line is, we do have some wicks and some near-term support, which could act as a confluence level. So for those that ask for US oil, first take profit 56.04 right here. Next one 55.34, and my final one would be 54.34 right here. Around 300 pips. A 300 pip move could be made. Stops right around 1700 pips away. So it's a pretty decent setup. I was eyeing it earlier, but a lot of you have smaller accounts. If you have a small account, I would not trade oil. It's just gonna ask too much. It's gonna ask for too much equity, and one loss could hurt you. So definitely a nice setup. If you did miss the entry today, wait for tomorrow's daily closure. If tomorrow's daily closure closes like this, or like a hammer like this one, evening star, or something like this, you can enter short because that's further confirmation. Or we can even wait for some sort of retrace on the hourly. On the hourly, if we expand out and draw our fibs, maybe you can wait for a retrace. So from our swing high to our swing low, right here. Maybe some sort of retrace to the 38.2 fib level, and then you can probably enter short. That way your risk to reward it gets cut in half basically. But it was a nice eye for whoever spot this. Definitely a short. Take a short position at 56.77. That's a pretty good entry actually. That's right around the 23.6 fib level. So that's actually a really good entry. No limit. For a $400 account, how much would you put your lot size? So honestly, I really recommend people to trade with. If you're looking to trade seriously, look for at least $1,000, maybe in 3,000 in capital. But if you're just if you're strict with your risk management, you can trade with less. For a $500 account, if your leverage is 1 to 200, for a standard intraday setup, right, your lot size should be no bigger than 0.3. No bigger than 0.3, 0.5. For a swing opportunity, it should be 0.1, 0.2. And you might think that's too small, but you have to understand, if you have a 0.5 lot and you lose 5 trades in a row, that's 30% of your capital gone. So you have to be careful about that. That's why I advise a lot of people, if you do a 9 to 5, work that 9 to 5 and save money on the side until you have 5,000, 10,000 to actually trade. That way you can hold swing opportunities, and not even that, enter lot sizes that can bring considerable returns a month and a week. I mean, on a $500 account, 5% is $50, right? $50 a month isn't gonna pay for anything really, right? If you're aiming for 5% a month on a $500 account, $50 is gonna pay for a lunch or two, like a couple lunches, maybe some groceries. But if you're looking to pay bills and whatnot, 10K and above minimum, and that's bare minimum to live a lifestyle. But if you're just looking for something to practice on, work on your trader psychology, then yeah, 500 is fine. Just grow that capital and compound it over the months. It can be done, but it takes a lot of strict risk management. What leverage do you recommend? So no worries, you can ask as many questions as you want, and this goes for everyone in the chat. Ask as many questions you want. I'm here to be a service of you. What leverage do I recommend? 1 to 200, 1 to 500 is fine. Anything higher, you start to gamble a lot. Meaning, if a trade's going your way, you might enter an extra lot, even though it goes against risk management. or if a certain provider, let's say I'm having a great week, my first three signals were all profits. My next signal, you might enter, a 0.10 lot because you're like, hey, RP had a great week. I need new shoes. Let me enter a 0.10 lot. And if that 0.10 lot was a loss, there goes half your profits. So my number one tip is don't over leverage, use risk management, and number three, use the same lot size unless I say otherwise. So for an intraday trade, use the same lot size. If I say swing trade, go smaller, but use the same lot size so at the end of the week, all the pips could balance themselves out. That's enough talking. Let me go on to, hope that answers your questions, Limit Tie. If you need further clarification, let me know. CAD Yen, Jared. Let's look at CAD Yen. So if you guys missed the morning session, we saw a lot of yen pairs gain a lot of strength. Look at this candle right here. So at 10:30 a.m., the U.S. trade rep basically sent out a press release where they said that the 10% tariffs they put on 3 billion Chinese exports, they're going to remove some items off that list. If you didn't know, U.S. did that. They did that last week. It's with the ongoing trade fiasco. And what removing some of these products off the tariffs list did is it gave the Chinese yuan a lot of strength. And China's biggest trade partner is the Australian, Australia. So the Aussie dollar gained a lot of strength. And if you look at the the Aussie pairs, or even the yen pairs, you will see a lot of movement. So the yen got weaker, obviously, as the Chinese dollar got stronger. So we saw this big move, and right now we're actually in a euro yen short. So I'm not fully convinced on some pairs that will make a recovery. If you look at all the pairs against the yen, most of them have slipped in the past month, right? Going to the monthly, most of them have slipped, right? And this is brought on by the trade fiasco. When there's a market instability, like a trade war with U.S. and China, or there's political tensions between U.S., Iran, and Europe, right, over nuclear deals, a lot of investors in countries back away from the dollar and they go to safe havens. Safe havens are the Swiss, so the CHF, and the yen, right? Those are two major safe havens. They're safe havens because their overall debt is low and the overall currency is stable, right? So many investors stockpile on those currency bonds in times of instability. So when the trade war started, a lot of pairs, including the CAD, the USD yen, the pound, NSD, have slipped against the yen. You can check your own charts and you'll see that as a case. Today, the news with the tariffs brought some life back into the yen, right? So the yen got weaker, so a lot of pairs made some recovery, but I'm not convinced that this recovery is a reversal. Just looking at the weekly time frame for the Canadian dollar, right? We had this trading range right here, which we spent much of 2018 in, right? And last week, we had an official break of the support right here, right around 80.500. We closed above it, and this candle right here, if you zoom in, it's an indecision candle. On smaller time frames, it may look like a buy, but if you look on the weekly time frames, which usually clear up a lot of noise, is an indecision candle. The wick to the bottom and the wick to the top is equal. So all this could mean is a retest, right? Next week we could see a bearish candle be all the way down here, right? The only thing that's holding up CAD yen right now, other than the fundamentals, is these two support levels, which you can even consider a zone. So 79.970, so right around 80 flat, and 79.451. That's the weekly. So when we go to the daily, this was a bit bullish engulfing candle, bullish engulfing because it engulfed the previous candle. But right now it's resting on the support region. For me to even think about buying CAD yen, I'd love for maybe a break outside of this candle on a smaller time frame. Looking to the left, we do see that whenever we did close above the support region, we did go long. For example, here back in May, we did close below the support region, but we printed a bullish candle. We closed above our trading range and our support, and we did make that a fulfillment up to 83.200. So we could see the same thing happen here. All I want is a nice bullish closure above the support region. That'd be great confluence, and we could probably repeat history. And we might not get the full the range fill, right? So we might not get the full move from here to here, but we might get part of it, and that's all that matters. The market, only gives a select pips to a few people, so you take what they give. Going to the 4 hourly, looking for any entries. So right now we are sitting at support, right? And right now we might be looking at support as resistance. We've come down and looking to the left, we have used this part as resistance before, so we could have a short setup. This is why you do a top-down analysis, because different time frames tell a different story. So right now, we may as well just drop back down to 79.451, or pay another visit to set 80 flat, right? So if you're looking for specifics, Jared, I hope you didn't enter right now. Maybe wait for a better entry, but you could have something like this happen. Sorry that the arrows are so thick, but this is just so people can see. We could have this happen, right? If we get some signs of rejection here, could also just slip down and we can continue on its way, because the trade war is still ongoing, right? Although America removes some products off the tariff list, there's still an ongoing trade war. U.S. and China are nowhere close to a deal. So you got to make sure you take note of that. And also, the U.S. dollar has cut rates, right? A lot of countries back their currency's power off the U.S. dollar. So when the USD cuts its rates, a lot of investors turn to safe havens, and so this is why we may see fundamentals continue on. This might just be an impulsive, impulse move from news, but we might have the trend continue. Jared, if you were looking for entries long, when we did have this push above, you should have waited for this retest. So this red candle was the retest, and this next candle, if it was a bullish green candle, that would have been a rejection, and you could have entered after. But what happened was price broke up, we did a retest, and it's looking like we're going to close back within this zone. So if you want, you could maybe close part of your position or cut your losses now and wait for a better entry, because the entry is there to go short or long, and it'll be a nice high probable trade. You just got to wait for the sure signs. So hopefully that helps you out. What broker do I recommend for Canadians that want to trade with a large account in the future? Canadians, I use Trader's Way. I like their tight spreads, but for Canadians, if you're looking for a nice regulated broker, Forex.com is pretty good. I believe FX Choice for US, but Forex.com is pretty good. Also, you can even trade through your banking app, so through TD, BMO. You can just Google it. Just make sure they're regulated by the Canadian Security Commission, and they're not in like overseas in like Cyprus or anything. But I use Trader's Way. I've used them for much of my trading career. They've never done me wrong, and their spreads are great, and their withdrawal times are pretty quick too. But you can use FX Choice if you want something more close to home. How would you trade Aussie news? So trading news, one of my favorite things to do. So earlier I traded the CPI, made easy 15 pips. So I'll get to that. Let me just look at CAD CHF no limit tie, and then we'll go to trade news, because that was my next thing. We do have CPI coming for the pound, and I will be trading this. I'll wake up at 4 o'clock, set my levels, and make 90% sure I'll make profits. Not because I'm cocky, but it's so easy to trade news if you know how to. So let me just finish CAD CHF no limit, and we'll get to that. So CAD CHF, similar story. Similar story for CAD. So all the safe havens lost their strength today. Let me go to the monthly. And all these lines, it's just take profit level, so I'm going to remove them. We have shorted and longed CAD CHF quite a bit since I've started at Forex Lens. Let me guys know in the chat if you're enjoying the session, or even if there's something I can improve on, just let me know. I'm a grown man. I can take constructive criticism. But looking on the monthly, this is why I love Swiss pairs, and their safe havens are so easy to trade. If you're a beginner trader and if you want me to tell you which pairs to trade, look at USD CHF and look at CAD CHF and Euro CHF. because those pairs are very, very easy to trade. They respect technicals so well, it is actually scary. So if you look, since 2014, we've been in this trading range from, right around 0.77500 to 0.71000, right? And there's so many opportunities. You could have short here, you could have long here, you could have short here, you could have long here, you could have short here, you could have long here, you could have short here, you could have long here, etc., etc., etc. This is like 3,000 pips that you could have made just from trading a range. So going closer to our range and inspecting it, we can see that we kind of have a range within a range. So this level right here that I did plot and that I did leave, 0.733354, has been a nice support, right? So this is our overall range from this blue zone to this blue zone, but we also had a secondary range from this blue zone to this line right here, this level. We can see that happen, right? And that's where price currently is bouncing off of, right? You can see it wicked as it done previously, has wicked through this line right here, but it's closing well within our range. So that could tell us that a lot of buyers are trying to push CAD CHF up. You can see the same thing happen here. We did spike all the way down here, but we squeezed back within this line right here. So that's the monthly outlook. Going to the weekly. On the weekly, we can see, we have a nice resistance here again. A lot of short opportunities, right, just by trading resistance from this level. And then looking at the current weekly candle, CAD CHF is looking like a hard buy. The only thing, Jared, that I watch out for is this trend line right here. Because this trend line, we have a one touch, a two touch, very clean touches, and right now we are retesting it on the smaller time frame. And this candle, I mean, if you look at this candle, this is a nice bullish hammer, a very long wick to the bottom. Sellers drove price all the way down to here, but buyers drove it all the way back up. They said, we're not having it. We want CAD CHF to go higher. So the only thing I'd watch out for is making sure that this isn't just a break, retest with this candle and a rejection down to our support zone. That's the weekly though. The weekly candle, if it stays this way, is screaming bears. Just looking at hammers, what they do. Hammers tend to follow a bull run. They're a nice reversal candle to trade. Going to the daily, let's see. So on the daily, again, screaming longs. We had a nice bullish engulfing. So this is our bearish candle right here. Our bullish engulfing candle engulfed this whole candle from top to bottom. And right now we have tapped. So I mean, this is perfect technicals right here. This bullish engulfing candle literally tapped our weekly trend line, our monthly trend line to the actual pip. And right now we're just printing an indecision candle. This candle closure on the daily will be important, Jared. If this candle closes, bearish as in somewhere down here, it may be a trend reversal down. However, if it stays like this, which is just a bearish hammer, we could be moving up. But for safe bets, I would look at buys above this level. So we have this support region right here, right? I'd look for buys above this trend line. If CAD CHF somehow wills its way within this trend line, I will look to buy. And the stop loss would be so short and take profit will be so substantial, it's hard not to take this trade even on a Friday. Just looking at this, let's say price did close above somewhere here, our stop will be right below this recent support we've made, right around 0.73669, and our final take profit would be these highs right here or this trend line touch. And if we look at the setup, 1.99 doesn't get much better than that. To get the best entries, you gotta wait for price action to play out, get that confluence in. A lot of our providers send out a lot of signals a week. I probably send out 5 to 7, but I make sure they're quality. And there's definitely a buy outlook for CAD CHF. Jared, just watch out for the price action. All right, no worries for the last session. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So now trading news. If you guys have any pair recommendations, let me know. I'm gonna tell you guys how to trade news. So no limit. Do you want me to look at Aussie news or just news in general? Because we do have London coming up in 5 hours, less than 5 hours. Since you requested Aussie, I'll do pound just because it's coming up. but you can rinse and repeat for Aussie. So this is how I trade news. I did this morning, and it's pretty simple. We're on pound. We just covered pound. We've covered all the monthly levels, all the key areas. All you have to do is go to where price is right now. Usually, if news is at, so let's take the current time for example, or let's say so we do have so pound CPI, right? The inflation, um, right here. This is major. This is coming at 4:30 a.m. Eastern, my time. So if you guys want to know what your time is, just convert 4:30 a.m. Eastern to London or Brazil, wherever you guys are, and you figure out. So let's say it's usually if I have news at 4:30 a.m., I'll be on the charts at 3:50. So let's say I go on the charts at 3:50, right? This is right before news releases. This is what I do. I identify my hourly levels. Because when news releases, especially heavy impact news, you're going to get some movement, usually 10 to 20, 30 pip movement, right? So you go to the hourly, you look at your key levels, right? So right now our key support is right here where these wicks are, right? So I'm going to plot that. Boom. So I'm going to plot our support right here on our hourly. And then what's our resistance on the hourly? That's close to us, 10 to 15 pips away. I'd say, these wicks right here. See these? This wick, all around here. So boom. I'm gonna have something like this, right? And this is what I'm gonna go into at 3:50, right around 40 minutes before the news release. Is there a way to set up stops limits for news when you're not up? I mean, unless you create an EA, there's no way. You have to manually do it. But I mean, you can literally wake up for 40 minutes and bake some profits and go back to sleep. But I'm moving on. So this at 3:50, 40 minutes before news release. This is my setup. This is what I had for USD earlier. And then since price is down here, I'm watching, right? And I set my sell stops. I set my sell stops right below this level. So my sell stop would be right below 1.20467. Okay, and my take profit would be another support region or where there's a lot of wick activity. And usually for trading news, you don't want to be greedy. You want to get 5 to 9 pips, 5 to 12 pips, and get out. Easy free pips. Get your money. Don't get greedy. Secure the bag and hop out. So I'll look for something, that's 5 to 12 pips away, somewhere here, right? 10 pips away. This area right here, wicks. If you really want to keep it short, you can even go to this wick spike right here, which is five pips away. But I'm gonna choose this area right here. A lot of activity. So let's say this is what I do, right? Price is down here, right? And so let's say as time goes on, right? It's 3:50. It turns 4 o'clock, 4:20. Pound starts to edge lower and lower to our sell stop. When it comes lower to your sell stop, your order will actually turn green on MetaTrader. So what I do is if it's too close and the news hasn't released yet, I'd actually move my sell stop lower so it doesn't get activated, right? You want your sell stop to be activated as soon as the news releases. So let's say we're right here and pound stays right around here and news comes out and pound CPI is terrible, right? It's worse than forecasted. The forecast is 1.9%. Let's say it's 1.5. If it was 1.5 and pound was here, pound would crush through this level, activate our sell stop, and at least go to this level, and we can secure our 8 to 9 pips in profit for free, pretty much free. On the flip side, let's say pound at 350, pound was up here, right? Pound was somewhere up here, and we're looking at maybe if CPI comes out better, let's say it comes out 2.3%. What are our near-term take profits? Well, for a buy stop, it'd be somewhere here. These wicks right here. Looking to the left, a nice resistance right around 8 to 10 pips away from where we are right now. So let's say pound USD was up here, and we'd have a buy stop right at this level, 1.20750. CPI comes out great. It would activate our buy stop. It come to here at least, could go further, and we can secure these profits. And that's going with the trend. Sometimes what happens is, let's say the pound was here, right before the news, and CPI came out terrible, so pound would fall. What if you want to catch that move? where would we put our stops? I mean, our take profit here. So if pound was here, we'd put our sell stop just below. I know this might get confusing with a lot of lines, so I'll actually remove the lines as we go through these examples. And if you need me to repeat, please let me know. You sell stops 30 minutes before. Well, 30 minutes before, I put my key supports and resistance for that hourly time frame, and then as we inch 10 by 10 closer to the news release, I move those zones in and make take profit levels. Yes, so when you do trade news, you can enter a larger lot size because your stops are so much smaller. So I'm actually going to do a trade setup right now after I finish the examples to show you what your stops and entries will look like. But going back on the other, what I was saying earlier, let's say pound was here and we wanted to catch the sell stop. In case the pound CPI came terrible, obviously pound will fall. So we'd have our sell stop right at this level because this is where we had support, right? So this is where price is more inclined to go to support. It will get to a support, our order will be activated, and our take profit will be our next support right around here. Usually you might have to practice this on a demo account a few times before you can do it on live. I mean, you can if you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy profits. So I'll do an example right now. I'll actually remove all these tools. Since pound is close to here, I'll do a real life example. Let's say it's 425, right? It's 425. In 5 minutes, the pound CPI is coming out. Boom, I plotted my support. My sell stop is right below the support. So support's at 1.20510. My sell stop will be at 1.20470. Cool. Where do I want my take profits? If I'm being conservative, right at this wick, this nice wick right here, which is about 10 pips away, 9 pips away. So, and my stops will be right here. Whoops, right here, right above this support. So this is the overall thinking. Okay, pound is here. 2 minutes go, 3 minutes go. Oop, it's 4:30. CPI comes out worse than expected. It's gonna drop. Boom. It's gonna activate our sell stop here, and it's going to go at least to this take profit. If it doesn't, and you're watching the trade happen manually, and it comes to here, you can close out. You can close out whenever you want. Some profit is better than no profit. So you secure that profit, and our stops are right above here, right above our sell stop. So in case price does flick here but flick back up, we're only going to lose like 4 pips. And when I do trade news, I use 2 times the regular lot size just because the stops are so small and the pips are so quick and pretty much almost guaranteed that it's okay to risk a bit more. And that's how you trade it. Tonight at 4:30 a.m. I will share my sell stops and buy stops on Telegram, so you guys could take the same trades that I do. And 90% of the time, you get the win. Sometimes, if there's a lot of like manipulation or multiple news events at one moment, so at 4:30 instead of one event, there's a bunch of releases. You might have a quick flick here, which will activate your order, and a quick flick the other way, and that way you might get spiked out. And another thing is, let's say we had sell stops here and we had buy stops up here. Let's say our sell stop got activated. If it got activated, close out the buy stop, because the last thing you want to do is have a sell stop activated, then price quickly flick up and activate your buy stop. Now you're in 2 spots, 2 trades, opposite trades that are just hedging each other. It's a waste of equity, and it's not the ideal thing to be in a trade. So let's say our sell stop activated, I immediately close out the buy stop, let the sell stop go into profit, either hit take profit, and I close out, or I manually close out when I feel happy with the profits. But that's the basic setup. Yeah, set up alarms to set wake up at 3:50. Today at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we had USD CPI, so I didn't have to really set up an alarm. I was awake already. But that's how you trade news. And so for Aussie employment tomorrow, which will be major. Tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we have unemployment and employment change. If you know about NFP, which is on Friday for Americans, the American dollar, this is the equivalent for the Australian dollar right here. So we'll definitely get some major movement, but it's the same thing you want to do. So around 30 minutes before the news release, you want to assess your hourly levels, look for potential places to put buy stops. Once you get closer to the 10-20 minute mark, you want to start putting in SLs and take profits. But tonight I will show an example, and hopefully you guys are awake to catch it, and that we can learn. And tomorrow morning during our live session at 11 a.m. Eastern, I'll go over how those buy stops and sell stops went. I think that should be the end of this session. If you have any last minute questions, send them through. What pair will I be trading for Aussie news tomorrow? So Aussie news tomorrow, most probably Aussie dollar. So Euro Aussie can move 100 pips in one candle. So if you're looking for quick movements, you could get that with Euro Aussie. I'm losing my voice. But Aussie dollar, Aussie yen, and Euro Aussie is probably what I'm going to be trading for news tomorrow. Tonight for pound, it's probably just going to be pound USD. And I'll probably be looking at shorts, especially since it's going with the overall bias. But obviously, if we come up, if pound somehow reaches up here, then I'll be looking at buys and whatnot. But that's this session. No worries about the live. For people that are in London session and you can't make the daily live 11 a.m. sessions, I do apologize, but that's just our office hours at Forex Lens and when we're awake. But these sessions are all available on our YouTube by the time you guys are awake. So on your way to work, you can listen to them as a podcast or just watch it on your phone on the way to work, and get recapped. Most of the setups play out during London anyways, so you're not really missing too much. And at the same time, it's more about learning. Signals should not be used as a copy and paste tool. It's not that. You should use signals as a learning tool, something to add confluence to your own analysis, and that way you can be your own trader. That's what we want at Forex Lens, to everyone learn to be a trader and move on and become independent. We don't want you guys to be stuck with us for years because you don't know how to trade and you rely on us to send signals. So that's what we're trying to do. Hopefully these live sessions help you guys. If you have any last minute comments, concerns, let me know. And I'll have some trade updates later for the pound release, which is in about 4.5 hours. So stay tuned for that. If you're gonna be asleep, and I should be asleep during that time, but I love trading, man. If you're gonna be asleep, I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern for a live session. And if you have a friend that's trading or is losing money, send them this link. Our trading room is free until the 16th, right? And then we're just gonna be holding live sessions once a week, twice a week, if that. So take full advantage of this and get them to watch some of these live sessions. Maybe it's for them. I really wish during my first year of trading there was something like this, where I could learn and earn at the same time. But enough blabbering. This was a pretty long session. My voice is pretty much gone, but I'm passionate about what I do, and I hope you guys can see that. And I want you guys to become better traders, and I hope I'm helping you achieve that. So that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy trading. Get some rest, and that's it. So share the video on your Facebook, your Twitter. If you're in any Telegram chats, share the video. I think this is probably your best live session, most educated one, and it'll help somebody. It's free, and I put my heart and soul into these videos, and maybe you'll make someone's day getting this kind of content. Anyways, see you tomorrow. Happy trading, and good night to the people on the Eastern Coast. Bye.